Roads. A vital part of development in countries and regions throughout the world. In the Greater Mekong sub-region, infrastructure plays a big role in bridging together the economies of different countries that comprise the GMS and links people to employment, hospitals and schools. The Asian Development Bank has supported the construction and rehabilitation of thousands of kilometres of roads, national highways and expressways in the GMS. Often these roads are the country's lifeline to progress. But the development of roads can also potentially bring negative social impacts.
The physical connectivity results in greater mobility and migration of people. In the GMS, we talk about the 3 M's, which is mobile men with money. And it is this mobile men with money who are more likely to frequent entertainment establishments, purchase commercial sex, also move around the region, perhaps carrying some of these communicable diseases, including HIV and AIDS, and passing it on to other areas.
We are worried about that when the road is connected well in the country, people move from one to another and bring with the money with in hand, especially for the man. And at the same time, the people do live in the community, his low education, low of knowledge of HIV/AIDS. So with the men who have money and with the low education, and at the same time, relationship as a partner, it seems to be like the easiest to connect to each other. So from time to time, there are risks with the multi-partner.
When you construct the road, you have the migrants or the construction workers, or you have truck drivers who move from one place to another. So before the construction move, another side we don't say sex worker, we call service women. So the service women, they move there to sell beers. And then the construction worker, after they work, after they get the salary, sure they will drink, and after drinking, they will go for enjoyment. So this is, what we are concerned of.
Realising the consequences of this greater mobility, ADB, with development partners including AusAid, has funded and implemented various projects in the GMS, which aim to mitigate the risks of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections brought about by greater mobility.
ADB sees this as an obligation to mitigate the risk, but it also sees it as an opportunity to do programs for HIV prevention in the region associated with its own investment programs.
These HIV and STI mitigation projects are being done in coordination with non-government organisations and national and local government units in the GMS. They include safe sex awareness raising sessions, targeting entertainment workers and their male customers, as well as young people in the communities.
Now I know about sexual health issues. If we are not cautious, we may get HIV.
They taught me how to use condoms. I also learned more about sexually transmitted infections.
And a radio program addressing questions from the public on sexually transmitted diseases in Cambodia. Mobile clinics which reach out to far-flung tribal communities in Vietnam. And DVDs and CDs on HIV and STI awareness being played to ethnic minorities in Vietnam and Laos. These projects reach out to populations who are most vulnerable to risks of sexually transmitted diseases. These groups who are drawn into sexual risks are now already becoming more aware of ways to engage in safe sex and protect their health. This awareness goes a long way in preventing the spread of sexually transmitted infections. By doing these efforts, ADB not only builds infrastructure, but also makes sure that it addresses the social issues that come as a consequence of road development.
Afghanistan's first commercial railway. The train drives slowly along these freshly laid tracks. However, when the lines are completed, goods and freight will move along here at 100 kilometres per hour. The 75-kilometre rail link will connect the northern Afghan city of Mazar-e-Sharif to Hairatan, on the border with Uzbekistan, the gateway for about half of the country's imports, helping to remove the bottleneck that existing transport infrastructure struggles to cope with. It will also boost commerce and help speed the flow of much-needed humanitarian assistance. The railway is being built with a $165 million grant from the Asian Development Bank and a $5 million contribution from the Afghan government. The project also includes an upgrade of the Hairatan station yard, building a transshipment terminal and the preparation of a railway sector plan. Currently, all freight transport in Afghanistan is by road. ADB President Haruhiko Kuroda flew into the country for the opening ceremony, held beside the tracks where 40 kilometres have now been laid. In his address, he spoke about the significance of this project.
It represents Afghanistan's emergence as a regional crossroads for trade and commerce. It represents Afghanistan's expanding manufacturing base and growing economy. And most importantly, it represents the aspirations of Afghanistan people to redefine their country's role in the region and in the world.
The ceremony was also attended by General Mohammad Atta-Noor, the Governor of Balkh, Omar Zakiwal, Afghan Finance Minister, and Karl Eichenberg, US Ambassador to Afghanistan. Future rail links are planned that will run across the north of the country and expand to other parts of Afghanistan and the region, including Pakistan, Tajikistan and Turkmenistan.
The long-suffering people of Afghanistan need peace. They need progress and they need prosperity. The rail line we see before us represents ADB's commitment to turning these fundamental aspirations in reality. Thank you.
It is expected the project will be completed by the end of the year.
Along the steep slopes of Samoa's lush mountains, water provides a readily available power source for a nation in need of electricity. The Talafaga Power Station, on the eastern coast of the island of Upolu, is one of a number of hydroelectric power plants feeding Samoa's national grid. The station has recently been upgraded with new hardware that protects against lightning strikes and helps limit blackouts. Few locals know much about the technology, but they welcome its impact. Samoa, with support from the ADB and the Australian Agency for International Development, is working to boost the reliability of electricity across the country. Businesses such as the popular Crabbers Bar in the capital Apia have long struggled with power shortages and resorted to costly diesel generators to keep the lights on. But with the help of a package of loans and grants, Samoa is increasing its electricity capacity and efficiency. One of the most significant changes comes not in the form of transmission lines or turbines, but with the arrival of a keypad outside users' homes and offices. With a new prepayment system, the national utility, the Electric Power Corporation, is managing to control debt and help its bottom line.
With the old methodology where people use electricity first and then pay later, we find that it incurs a lot of debt. And if we don't manage these debts properly, eventually we have to write off a lot of debts. But having a system which allows consumers to pay first and use later, it's a very good system in the sense that you get your money up front, and it really helps you with your cash flow and also with your financial position.
Some customers are finding they can save money as well. Rosalia Fatu lives with her husband and 6 children in Apia. She says under the billing system, her family used to pay about $60 a month, but now their monthly fee is less than $30.
For our daily consumption, we used to consume electricity without thinking twice about how much we were using. We lost track of the cost, but now it's much easier. We can monitor how much we use and consume less and save money.
A savings that benefits both her household as well as Samoa's national electricity supply.